I always forget. I mute the mic. What I do is I mute the mic when I do the intro, when I have the music playing for the intro. So that gives you guys all a chance to come in and join. But I mute the mic so then you can't hear the clicking of my mouse. And, a little bit better of experience for you. But yeah, I always forget. I am trying to make it a button on the my stream deck. Here, I'll show you guys. This is what the soundboard looks like on my end. So I've just got an iPad there, an old iPad, and I just throw all the things up here as quick little buttons, so then I can just be like boom, 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 and just makes things go a little bit faster. Uh, I don't do the Megan Fox Legos. We have plenty of Legos around this house. My son, he has loved Legos for years. We still get the play sets and put them together, the two of us. It's one thing that we really enjoy doing. Uh, so I have not done the Lego play sets. Really low sound quality. Hold on here. Is it? Hold on. Let me play some sounds.
Join the army.
Hoo-ah! No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
How are those? Are those good sound quality? I had to unplug my microphone and then plug it back in. So let me know if that's a problem. Let me take a look too. I think I might know what the issue is. Okay. Oh, you got your speaker up really loud. Well, I don't have. It's telling me that I don't have the greatest signal right now. In fact, the signal's really bad. I don't know why this is, and this is coming from my OBS. Okay, your sound's all up. Let me bring that a little bit closer. See if that does anything. If it if I do keep sounding far away, let me know. I can switch to. So I do have this little lapel mic I can put on. Um, I normally like this one because I do like having the ability to move it around. It also doesn't sound like shuffling and stuff like that. This is a USB mic. It's really good. Frozen. Yeah, it's for some reason my OBS is really slow. It's close now. You can see it on screen. This is my mic. I did have it pushed back just a little bit, but it's not a pushback a ton. And I have my microphone all the way up. Let me look. Let me try to turn it down a little bit. Is that better? Because sometimes when I have these settings way up, it robots out on me. So I turned it down a little bit. Let's see if that improves the quality. It's closer, but now the microphone sound is down a little bit. Yeah, freezing. That's okay. I'm looking now. It just came. My OBS frames just came up, so I don't know what it was, but it should really improve now. I do have a new sound, uh, Polly.
Son of a bitch!
I I'm not happy with the way that one came out. I'm going to replace it with the exact same sound, but from a better source. Um, but yeah, I am putting up new. Uh, what's it? I am doing new. Why is my light not on? Well, the lighting looks okay as from what I see. But yeah, my little light on my webcam not on. Very weird. I hope you're all doing well today. I slept in this morning. I was up a little bit late talking to a veteran friend about some issues they had at the VA. And the night prior, oh, I'll tell you, this PTSD, I had some nightmares this week, let me tell you. And I mean, they weren't nightmares that were like, where it was like a story. It was flashes of very demonic stuff. Uh, but, I've got my service dog, Glory, and it did not cause me insomnia. I was able to, um, hmm, it's showing me, hold on, I'm going to take a look at our stream real quick here. Because it's showing me on my thing that it's my static symbol, and that should not be. That should not be. You okay? No, no. Okay, on the live stream, I'm seeing me. I do have to make sure I go in and share this because all the people who follow on our Facebook group, Veteran Nation, they need to be able to know that I'm live streaming. That's normally what I do when I have the intro going, is I'm sharing the stream, making sure that people know where it's at. Okay, so we're good on YouTube. We're good on Facebook, and let me check X right now. It does say that we are live. There we go. Okay, all right. So we're out there. We're doing this. That's that's what sucks about being your own producer. You got to figure all this stuff out. Oh, I do need to put in some things on my boom. Okay, it's connecting, and all right. Mostly people from YouTube here right now. Hey, everyone, do me a favor. Hit the like and subscribe if you're not already. And if you could share this, but definitely hit the like button. That's the big thing. That tells YouTube you're enjoying this. And if you dislike it, hit the dislike button. YouTube does not distinguish between likes and dislikes. So I do want to get through the DeThomasis letter. So let me transition here. So we did this last week, and hey, good morning, Tom. Welcome to the stream. We did this last week, and I put this up in some Google Docs. I had a lot of people who wanted to come in and give their stuff. However, I didn't want to open it up to everybody, so there's one What the Hales fan that, I do know that they have a good eye for editing, because we've talked about other stuff that caught me on some of my other things where I had mistakes. And, I'm one of these people. If I've made a mistake, I like it when you tell me. The Marine Corps gave me very thick skin because every day in the Marine Corps I was told that I was wrong. So I'm very used to people being like, no, that's not correct. But I do want to be right. And so I'm not one of these who shoots the messenger. I like being told when I am wrong, because that's how I become right. And that's how I get better. So this individual had previously told me, hey, you're wrong on this and this and this, and I made changes. I'm not the world's greatest writer. I switched from engineering to journalism. That's a big, big switch. But I knew when I switched my major in college doing that I was going from an area of strength to an area of weakness. So I was going to have to work. And it did. I had to work. I had to become a much better writer. And I'm not the world's greatest writer. I don't think I'll ever be. I'm a better writer. I'm a much better writer. And it has served its purpose for me. That Marine Corps always seek improvement definitely inspired me to make that change, and I did, and it has improved me both as a person and professionally. But this is the letter that we did. We went through a lot of variations for it. So, whenever you write something, your first draft is going to be very rough. And people say rewrite it. Yeah, but you need to rewrite it multiple times. Rewrite it, walk away, come back, rewrite it again. So I'm not even sure if what we're about to look at here, if I would consider this to be a final draft. We still, maybe we can catch some things here and make this a little bit better. Some people had some really good comments on some of the stuff. A couple people, they wanted, there were stylistic differences. Like they wanted me to focus on like things that the judge had did in court. Um, uh, I didn't I didn't make those changes because we did say we talk about his behavior in this, and I think that's kind of all encompassing. Um, I just didn't want this. First off, I did not want this to get too long. I wanted it to be very to the point. Your sound is low also. Okay. So let me switch. Let me make sure. Okay, that's plugged in. I'm going to switch microphones for you. Check, 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 check. Better? Is that now you guys have to deal with this? Okay, there we go. I thought I had it. I actually bought these microphones for doing things outdoors. How is that? Better? Okay, much better, I see. Okay, so I will move this out of my way. All right, so there we go. Glad we got that worked out. Only thing is, if I brush up against it, you guys will get a little bit of that brushing sound. So you know, all right. So with this letter, your fourth draft is gonna be really good. And if you rewrite stuff, I'm trying to think of his name. I had a professor at Eastern Michigan University. He was a guy who he had been through the civil rights movement as a journalist, and still today, I believe, publishes a uh, newspaper in Detroit, and it's like a small community newspaper that he does. Doesn't make money off, just does it as a passion, and took a lot of the things he learned as a very young journalist covering the civil rights movement, and still push that today. He was very big on us rewriting, and there were times where he would just hand us back our stories and be like, rewrite them again, bring it back, and oh, good morning, Deborah. And I'll tell you, that is what made me a much better writer, learning how to do that. Um, because I was able to recognize that, oh, yeah, my third and fourth drafts were significantly better than my first and second. And you just have to walk away from it, come back. But yeah, we had people who they really wanted us to get into the weeds. I don't want to get into the weeds with this letter uh, because this is what's going to grab the attention. I did get into the weeds a little bit on the petition, which let me pull up the petition and see where we are at with that. I don't know if I want to do that on screen though, only because I had to log in. Okay, where is my petition? Okay, my petitions. There we go. Okay, so we're still at 4,700. It slowed down last week.
But we did get over 4,700. We're at 4,738, so that's a really good number. I am going to, I got to put the link in it to this. Or actually, no, we do have it down there in the footnotes. But let's go through this together and make sure that that we have this all the way we want it. To Governor DeSantis and staff, greetings. The purpose of this letter is to make you aware of a situation currently happening in Levy County, Florida regarding Judge Craig DeThomasis, who you appointed as a circuit court judge to fill a vacancy. Is there a way I can blow this up a little bit? Can you guys? Oh, here we go. We'll go to 125. Can you guys read that okay, or do I need to go 150? Let's do 150. There we go. It is the intent of this letter and petition to make you aware of his anti-constitutional judgments and behavior in the courtroom. As of the writing of this letter, our petition has gained almost 5,000 signatures. Judge DeThomasis has been brought to the public's attention due to restricting a number of Jeremy Hale's constitutional rights, also imposing a temporary injunction on Jeremy. This was initially for 15 days and has been extended by the judge multiple times. It is currently in an indefinite status. This is a direct violation of the Sixth Amendment and limits Mr. Hale's ability to use his First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and 14th Amendment rights. Additionally, Judge DeThomas's conduct in the courtroom is unbecoming of an officer of the court, frequently interrupting and admonishing Mr. Hale's lawyers, rehashing prior hearings, yet allowing Miss Preston to talk over him, lose focus, use her phone in the courtroom, etc. First 3 court hearings. Something Silverman blocking further dispositions of Lynette and John Cook. I want to change that a little bit. Attorney Silverman. Sorry, that was a note. I see now what we did. Lose focus, lose your phone in the court. And when she did, and her attorney, or actually I don't need to talk about the attorney, and blocking her deposition for, I'm trying to think of petty, another word for petty. I don't want to say pedantic. For small technical okay, I'm trying to think of a word for not mishaps, small technical, what fits in good here? Blocking her deposition for small technical, I don't want to do reasons. I think we can find a better word for reasons. Okay, going to the dictionary. See, I'm not the world's greatest writer. I don't have the world's biggest vocabulary. I'm looking up synonyms. No. Mishandling? No. Phone use, emailing others at one point, talking with Russell, sitting behind her. Glitch? I'll look up glitch. I'm not really, I don't want to use mistake. Snag, pitfall, issue. Small tech. Well, no, I don't want to do issue. Predicament, jam, hot water, quagmire, dilemma, quandary, mystery, complications. Thank you. That's a good one. I like that. Small technical complications. Jeremy Hales feeling he would not get a fair hearing. I don't think that needs to be. Well, actually, yeah, we did talk about that. I think we did leave that as. I think we did leave fair as all caps. Issue that has no bearing since it was a Zoom call and she waived it. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I don't. I like complications better than issue because it sounds like something was done wrong, but it was very minor. You know, like yeah, they should have put the videographer's name, but at the end of the day, who cares? Yeah, it's in the law, but it wasn't the problem of it wasn't the lawyer's fault. It wasn't Jeremy's fault. It was the video, the stenographer, the court appointed person who was there. It was their fault, but that shouldn't disqualify it. That's a judge looking for a reason to disqualify, which is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to does it change the merits of the thing? If this were like, if we were discussing a warrant, okay, yeah, there I get it. If they minor, yeah, for minor technicalities, I do kind of like, I do like that. I do like that a little bit better. Inconsequential. You know what? I do like inconsequential better. For inconsequential technicalities. See, this is. I think we're definitely getting better. This is, this reads much better with that. So this is why we change these things. We try them in there, see what blocking your deposition for inconsequential technicalities. I think that really hits it. The judge splitting hairs. Oh, absolutely, absolutely, he is. But that's proof of his bias too. He would not get a fair hearing. Filed several motions to disqualify, which Judge DeThomasis has repeatedly denied, going into lengthy detail why denying the motion against Florida's repeatedly denied while going into lengthy detail of why denying the motion against okay, I think we can word this better. Filed several motions to disqualify, which DeThomasis has repeatedly denied. It's against via lengthy okay. There's no S. Oh, and technicalities. He'll find another one, so that's why I'm just. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I'll leave it at that because he would have found the next one. That's the other thing. I want pointing out a bunch of little stuff is really what I want to pull out with that. So I am going to leave the S. I understand what you're saying, though, Deborah. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I got something going by that's very loud. Okay. The rulings. Yeah. Okay. The lengthy rulings against Florida's judicial rules. This shows the judge is biased against Mr. Hales and requires investigation, as the rights of Floridians and all U.S. citizens are at stake. Okay. Would it be an inconsequential technicality, since it just had to do with one item? of the videographer. It would be, but I am going to leave it as plural. I'm not going to. I just think it by inconsequential technicalities. I think just kind of it kind of expands on everything. I understand in this one instance it does, but just showing that that's how this judge operates. Thank you for addressing this issue. Jeremy is a good Christian, and they don't deserve the treat that they have gotten. Absolutely. No, thank you so much for joining the stream, Frank. And I appreciate your comment because it's true. It's BS what they've gone through. In fact, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. No, why? It changes my chat, and I don't like that. The way I had this set up, it's supposed to be the window. So you see how the chat moves? Like I just want it to grab the chat and not that other. Like I want to be able, like I do have it set up so now like the chat is hidden from me, but you guys can still see it. So it's grabbing from the window. I just can't make any changes. Who is this? Okay, there we go. Sums it up nicely. Keep going, you're on a roll. Thank you. That's why I do it this way. I'll edit. If it's nothing that's timely, I'll write it, walk away, come back, edit it, walk away, come back, and keep doing that. You'd be surprised how much better your writing will be by just doing that. I'm drawing a blank on that professor's name, but if I think about it, I'll say it in the chat because I learned that from him. Always rewrite. Yeah, plural is okay. I think so too. Silverman said that there was only for a temporary continuances. Yeah. You're on live, dropping by. Oh yeah. Thank you. I see Kevin the Angry Vet. Everyone, go check out Kevin's channel. He's at the Angry Vet when you get a chance. He's a veteran who he recorded with his phone just out like this. His doctor at the VA refusing to treat him. And he was arrested and has been charged with wiretapping in Maryland. It's completely and totally ridiculous. So go support Kevin because he's fighting for our rights as well up there. Kevin, is this bridge, is it messing with you? I know you live outside of, you don't live in Baltimore. I don't even think you live in the county, but is this bridge collapse, is it affecting you? But I think you're on the western side, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I interviewed you. I hit the phone. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, you're up north. Okay. I'm sure, but even as these hearings lasted over 3 months, Jeremy has not even had the right to address his response to the charges. Absolutely, and that's why the temporary injunction should not have been extended the third time. It should have said, okay, well, if I extend it again, it's not temporary then. So no, we can't do this, which is BS. Because it encourages the petitioner to drag things out, which it absolutely has. That's why they didn't show up to the freaking depositions. I'm not sure, but even as those hearings, oh, okay, sorry, I read that one. Traffic not too bad from what I'm hearing. That's good. I've spent my time around Maryland. I used to have to drive through there quite a bit. I was stationed at Quantico. I'm getting emails. They're trying to get me to come back on active duty because they need captains in Quantico again, and I'm like, nope, not going to Quantico. Even if he gets his say, he will lose. The video is a Zoom. Yeah. Well, okay. So Florida does have a judicial rule that if you, as a judge, are asked to disqualify, you have to. The only, the instances in it where it says you don't have to is if they've asked for another judge to recuse. because then clearly it's a stall tactic. But the Florida judicial rule, and this happened in the Disney case, in the federal court, because the federal court, when both parties are in the same state, they have to follow the state rules. So in the federal court for the Disney case, DeSantis, well, actually, the Attorney General said, "Hey, Judge, we're asking you to recuse," and he had to recuse. Judge DeThomasis is like, "No, I'm not doing it." Fuck that! Don't do it for any amount of money. Yeah. Conoco, yeah, the VA, where did he go? Charlotte Hall, Maryland, because the VA hospital is in Washington, D.C., next to the Children's Hospital. No, it was not. He can answer, he's in here, but he did not go to D.C. He was right there in Baltimore. And there's lots of VAs all around. Even the big VA hospitals have satellite clinics, too. That's where I was assigned to before they finally gave me community care. It's LP and JC's way of draining Jeremy's finances. If they can't get any of the money, then no one but the lawyers can. Yeah. Perry Point VA. Okay, there you go. My VA at Loma Linda was so bad that the director was escorted out. I'm going to take off my hoodie, which means I have to take off my microphone, so excuse me for just a second. Sorry for the bad sound. It is warming up here. It was in the lower 50s when I woke up. It's going to be in the 60s here. In the 60s here today. Let's just fall off. What? Oh, okay, I see it. Sorry. I should have thought about that when I put the microphone on. My bad. He was asked 3 times. Why? Okay. It shows me as back, but it's showing me as not the greatest signal. It's my OBS this morning. Yeah, okay, I'm fine. Okay, I think I'm fine on some platforms, but others are struggling. And I'm looking, like, everything is fine with my Restream. It's my OBS for some reason. It just keeps going up and down. Okay, now it's saying it's good again. Don't ask me why it's doing this. 68 in storms in Ohio today. Okay, good. You're fine. Okay, good. Well, looks like we're back up, and I'm seeing a healthy stream again. I have no clue why it's doing this. I do have to change my bitrate through Restream though, but that's nothing. That only affects me through LinkedIn, which I do stream to LinkedIn as well. So I think where John and Lynette in federal court, where they will possibly see some success, is the extortion claim. The extortion claim is it's not a strong claim. I also think that because there was no definite quid pro quo. There was, we all know it occurred, and it's all in this general sense, but there's no, like, I don't want to say smoking gun, but there's no, like, direct, here it is, right here. Like, she did post things where she said that's what it was, but at no point that, from what I can see of what I've seen. But Jeremy's very good at only showing us a fraction, so he might have, where she said, give me this stuff. But she said it all in a very generalized sense. It's still extortion, and I think they still will ultimately be successful. I just think that's their weakest thing. It's so stupid because by doing this and allowing John and Lynette to drag this on will enable their behavior. Yeah, I agree. And the ridiculous thing is the DA and the sheriff allowing everything. John should have been arrested when he pulled out the gun. He should have been arrested. Him being able to say in court, no, they said that it was doctored. That's defamation. Now Jeremy's defamation claims in federal court extremely strong. That's ultimately where he's going to win a jury. They'll probably be like on the extortion claim, but the defamation it's slam dunk. Like they've said so many false things. You have to. Everybody is basing their opinion on what's shared, and not all the evidence is available. Absolute flippant adventures. You are 100% correct. You are. Is that flippant adventures? That's Deanna. Is that you in my stream? If you are, welcome. But yeah, I agree with you. Jeremy is very good. Jeremy's very good at a couple things. Okay, Jeremy's very good at putting out what he wants to put out. And we served 45 meals at our free breakfast center this morning. Oh, that's awesome, Frank. That's down there in Florida, right? If I remember correctly, you're down in Florida. Not only in Able, but in ReadyJet. Yep, absolutely. Jeremy has more evidence not released. Yes, he does. He does. I'm just saying about what's publicly available. The extortion is the weakest claim. The defamation, huge freaking slam dunk. He is going to win on defamation. It is not even going to be close. That's awesome. I'm so glad to have you here. I hope things are going well for you guys, and I hope I don't speak out of turn. I don't like. I haven't done a lot of stuff on this up until recently because I'm trying to focus on the corruption. I'm a big fan of Jeremy and George, but I don't want to be a fanboy and post fanboy stuff. I'm trying to keep all my stuff very tailored to the court case, tailored to the town, because that's ultimately, I have to look at what the mission of my channel is. And we do fight harassment and corruption. So that's why I've always tried to base it with this. I'm not doing this to make money off Jeremy and George. There are people out there doing that, and I don't like that. But Jeremy's very good at two things. First off, only showing us what he wants us to see. And I've noticed he's been able to play Lynette especially because she is a narcissist. She's got a personality disorder, to be honest. I've been doing my PTSD journey now for 8 years. I can now look at someone and in a couple of seconds be like, okay, something's not right. Something is not right with this person. And most times it's personality disorders is what I've discovered is I can still spot the people with the 1,000-yard stare. Those are PTSD. But with personality disorders, these are people who, they're not psychopaths, but they're close. These are people who present themselves in a way that they want you to think a certain way about them. And once you realize that and you start being around and identifying this, you're like, okay. And I think Jeremy is of that same mind where he recognizes that and he plays Lynette. He will put things up on screen knowing that she's watching, knowing that she copies him. So he puts things up, I've noticed, to try to get a reaction out of her. And every freaking time she takes the bait, hook, line, and sinker. I respect your opinion on all the topics you cover. Thank you, Gail. I really do appreciate that. I can be wrong. And I have changed my opinions before. And I think when people get too stuck in, no, this is what my opinion is, again, prove me wrong. I will listen. And I think a lot of that is I read a lot of media that doesn't agree with my worldview. If you've followed me for a while, you kind of know what I feel about things. And I get people who are like, oh, you watch Fox News. I actually don't. I really don't. I get most of my stuff from Twitter. I'm on Twitter a lot. That's where I get most of my media. And I follow things that like Huffington Post and MSNBC. I follow them and I read their stories because it doesn't agree with my sensibilities. So that's how I challenge myself. Um, Ashland, Ohio, I know Jeremy from his warehouse was in Worcester, and I was getting Bibles from him to hand out to veterans. Uh, okay, you're up in Ashland, Ohio. So I'm originally from Toledo, and I've said this before on stream. That's why I started following Jeremy, because he was talking about Worcester, and I'm very familiar with the area. I used to work for the University of Toledo football team, traveled all around Ohio, so I've been through a lot of the places, and it was really cool watching his early videos, and he would show things, and I'd be like, oh, I know where that's at. And so that's how I kind of found Jeremy, and was just a casual viewer up until all this stuff. And about a year ago is when I was like, okay, I am all in on this. When he started doing the corruption of the town, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm in. Lynette has done all of her life, well practiced, well performed. Absolutely, she is a performance artist. I've followed Jeremy since 2018. Awesome. Uh, Unfortunately, the courts do not know what the fans do from watching hundreds of hours of video. That's actually a good thing. That is actually a really good thing, Kevin. No idea why anyone who researched the cases correctly still want to help these people. Okay, here's one thing I noticed, because I'm one of the moderators on Facebook of the Shady Bunch, and as we have come into contact with these people, they're all abusers. Okay, like a good chunk of them are abusers. A lot of them have they're convicts themselves, and they're people who have a lot of the same mental illnesses. There's just, for us, the synapses hit. For them, they just kind of like miss. If George will show her true fans fear next time they will violate it, it would make a big difference. Sheriff is all about no fear, why bother? There is some truth to that, and I've experienced that in the harassment and corruption that I've done. You can go on my playlist and see. I've got some of me, some of other veterans, but there are some people who absolutely. I've been physically attacked here in San Bernardino County twice in the last 3 years. Each time on video. One of the videos is up on the channel, and yeah, each time the DA did not want to do anything. The second one was a guy who was bigger than me, and like the first time was an old guy, but the second guy, he was bigger than me, and he was only like 10 years older than me, and he also came up behind me, and you'll see the video when I publish it, and he shoved me, and I've got PTSD. It immediately put me into PTSD survival mode, and I turned around and started swinging, and he got clocked several times, and the DA said, well, you beat him up, so I'm not going to do anything. And I'm like, that's not the point. You have people out here attacking people. You have to prosecute so that everybody is safe. It doesn't matter that I was able to respond, because guess what? The next person won't be able to. And I'm very big on doing things right for the next person, as those of you who follow me can tell. Late arrival, but here. Thank you, Eric. I have been looking into the ham radio stuff that we talked about. You're starting to sell me. Defamation of character posting signs. Yeah, the defamation is a slam dunk. They are definitely going to get busted for that. He's already won, even if he doesn't win in the county courts. He's won in Ohio. Yeah. Oh, he absolutely has. Those two need to be arrested. I think, Jeremy, this federal case is going to absolutely, if it doesn't cause an investigation by the FBI onto the Levy County Sheriff and Levy County DA, I would be shocked. They're trying to do stuff now, but it's too much. And that's the other thing I was going to say that Jeremy is really good about. He's good playing Lynette, but he's also good about holding things back until he needs it, which is incredibly, incredibly smart. I can tell that Jeremy is going through some PTSD stuff. Again, I've got PTSD. I can recognize it. I think actually George more than Jeremy, which is a shame, because she is just such a friendly person, and I hate seeing people that friendly go through stuff like that. They will be okay. They will be okay. But I am seeing it in the videos. You can see the changes. It's all in their eyes. If you watch old videos and then watch the current ones, you're like, okay, yeah, I can see it. They will make it through, though. So it's going to cause them to do certain things. It's going to cause them to not show fear, knowing that, yeah, showing fear, like when there's blood in the water, the sharks are going to circle, type of thing. So yeah, that absolutely happens. You're also, um, it's going to cause them to want to go into whatever their survivability mode is. PTSD is survival mode. Just think of it that way. And the hard part about PTSD is getting out of survival mode. And I'm actually going to do a video about this because I actually had to help another veteran this week who was having an anxiety attack. And I had to start talking to him, and I was asking him questions. Sorry, I got to get some coffee here. I was asking him questions to get him, this veteran, out of survival mode. And here's what all you have to do. Start asking them questions. Like for me, he was on the phone, and I was like, okay, where are you at? And he was like, I'm here. I said, explain the room to me. And he kind of showed, was saying, okay, well, there's this on this wall, there's this on this wall. And I remembered he was from Kansas City. I go, okay, what's that barbecue place in Kansas City you told me about? He's like, oh, it's Gates. I go, okay, Gates. I go, what's it smell like when you walk in? What's the ambiance like? And I had him tell him, I'm like, what if I go there, what should I order? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What I'm doing there when I do that is I'm engaging his other senses, because when you go into survivability mode, you get tunnel vision, and your brain starts saying, okay, we're going to turn this section off and turn this section off. So what I'm doing is I'm in there turning the lights back on, hitting all the switches, because and memory and smell are a big one. So like with him, I was like, what does it smell like? Describe it to me. And as he's talking about like the barbecue sauce and stuff, I'm engaging that section of his brain, turning it back on, taking him out of that survival mode. I hope someone around Jeremy and George do that with them, because they'll find that they will be like, you still will get your attacks and stuff, and you'll still get put into those places, but it's easier to get out. For me, I have, and this is what I'm going to do the video about, I have a PTSD plan. If I start having an anxiety attack somewhere, I immediately start thinking of my grandfather. That's one of the strongest ones I have, because there's so many smells tied to it. Like I think of my grandfather when I was growing up, working on his car, listening to a Detroit Tigers game. I start thinking about, can I smell the WD-40? Can I smell the oil? All these type of things bring me back to those memories, and it pulls me out of my attack. And then I'm like, okay. And it makes it to where my attacks now are less severe. They don't last as long. I have that whole plan. I just start going through a checklist. If I need to call someone, I call them, whatever I got to do to get out of it. And that's when, for veterans who've been in with their PTSD recovery and they get advanced, these are things that you learn to develop. Yes, George has changed. Yeah, and it's a shame, because she's such a nice person. Jeremy has to work on his dates for court purposes. Both Lynette and John Cook should be criminally charged. Absolutely. And the sheriff has done a horrible job. So hopefully the threats of the FBI coming in, the threats of lawsuits will get them to stop. From complete experience on this very subject, it is difficult. You have to deal with fear, because showing it when they are physically in your presence makes them worse. They prey on that fear. Yeah. The good thing is, I will say, Lynette and John are scared of Jeremy. Maybe it's because he's a big guy, but they're scared of Jeremy. So he has the ability to be physically intimidating if he wants to. I hear you. She may need to flip out a little to get them arrested. Yeah, and Jeremy's very good. Again, if Jeremy wanted Lynette to dance to his tune, he could absolutely have her do it. That's one good thing about when you deal with people with personality disorders, is once you learn where their motivations are, you can start to manipulate them. Even though you don't want to, but you can set things up to get the reaction that you want out of them. Unfortunately, Jeremy and George, I think, about their favorite barbecue places, also has had an incident. True, But there are places in Ohio where they haven't had an incident where they can do some of these things. Like I always go back to very happy memories, like the one with my grandfather. That's a very happy memory of something I remember. So I put myself back into that place to get me out of an attack. Um, I agree, FA. I'm concerned about why I need to actually think and deal with this on a daily basis. Yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame. But, we are all, by all of us doing things like this in the petition, we are helping Jeremy and George, tremendously. To know that you're not alone. When someone tries to gaslight you, when other people are like, no, that's you're gaslighting, that's BS. It is such a relief. I was gaslit for years by a narcissist, and I still have issues today from that. I don't expect much from the state's attorney or the Levy County Sheriff's Office. Here's the thing: they don't want the feds coming in. They've clearly broken the 14th Amendment. They don't want the feds coming in. So I think they will do something. It might not be what we want them to do, but I think they will do something. This game is going to get someone hurt. JC is ready to strike. True. The biggest downside about John Cook is he's an idiot. He is an idiot. He does not know how to deal with problems. So he immediately goes to wanting to threaten people because he's an idiot. With Lynette, she's a little bit more calculating. That's what my observation. She's much more calculating. She can't be physically intimidating, so she's going to try it in other ways. You see that with a lot of women. That's why there's certain not narcissistic disorders, but personality disorders that women tend to have more. And I think a lot of that is because women are less physically intimidating than men. But John Cook is a freaking moron, man. And so he immediately just goes right back to, well, I'm going to beat you up. It's like, oh, okay. But he's smaller than Jeremy, so that's why he needs a gun. Jeremy and George doxed in Ohio, and there were direct threats against Jeremy's family. Oh, absolutely. I will have to see it because as of now, all it is lip service. No, I agree, but I think we will get there. I disagree with the statement that Jeremy is able to control what she does or how she reacts. Jeremy shares what is happening, and they don't like that he is sharing, and they are reacting how they react. True, but here's what I'm saying. She copies what Jeremy does. If Jeremy says, I'm going to do this, she goes and does it. So with that, Jeremy can play her. He can say, oh, we just did this when he didn't, and then watch her do the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying by he plays her. He might not be trying to do that, but that's what he's doing. But I think Jeremy's motives are absolutely noble. I will say that. I don't think he's trying to put her in a bad place at all. I think Jeremy's trying to do the right thing, and it's kind of forced her hand to do things like taking all this into the courts. Because as much as Lynette says they wanted to take this to court, they're not smart enough. They never would have gotten an attorney. I think they only got Shockett because of Amanda Martin. I think that's the only reason that they got him. Or not Shockett, but Silverman, sorry. Other than that, I don't think any other lawyer would want to take this case. They're off the reservation. He does push her buttons, and he says, yeah, he does. But again, there's nothing wrong with that. There are people that piss me off. You know what I do? I don't go around them. If they had a YouTube channel, I wouldn't be watching it. That's where these two are idiots. Jeremy could play her in that way. He's personal integrity and won't let him. Yeah, he does have integrity, absolutely. Unstable people are dangerous. I know from personal experience. JC and L are they are. Yeah, I've seen people like them before, and these two are batshit. If you're all in on Facebook on the Shady Bunch, you'll laugh. I posted a picture. I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a couple buckets, and I said, "Hey, I'm so excited! I got a new bathroom in my house." And then playing the victim, and it makes me ill. Yeah, and who's everyone who looks at this knows that's exactly what they're doing. And you know, here, this is why also with the where is it my okay, there's my thing. This is also why I put this in here of the sheriff and the prosecutor. Investigation of Levy County law enforcement is also warranted. So far, the district attorney and Levy County sheriffs have refused to enforce the civil protection order Mr. Hales obtained in Ohio against his neighbors Lynette and John of Levy County. This is another 14th Amendment violation that the judge also chooses to ignore. The implication is that Levy County officials and your office do not want to protect certain individuals within the county. Yeah, it's selective prosecution. Jeremy doesn't say he is doing something when he isn't being done. That's the difference. He hasn't misrepresented anything, but they freak out because the truth is being... Yeah, oh yeah, people like them hate the truth. They only want the truth viewed through the lens that they create. And here's the other thing about personality disorders. They need everybody to see things their way. That is why Lynette has so many of these Facebook groups. It's so she can control narratives and create circles of people who only see her side and are like, yeah, F him, he's horrible. That's why she does it. She needs people on her side. That's why she tries to manipulate people like how she did her stepdaughter. Because if you don't follow their manipulations, then you're a bad person. And I'll give you, there's another case that MG Law, I've watched his videos only because I don't want to talk too much about the individual that the case is about because I think he's just a horrible individual, but I see the same thing, and that's the DeCastro case out of Las Vegas. I do not like that guy. I've never really done anything about him publicly. That's why I see a lot of this personality disorder stuff through him, because if everybody's not on my side, then you're against me type of thing. And, you know, some people just don't care. You know, even if you do have a supporter, but they don't want to get involved, they don't want to get involved. But someone like Lynette would be like, you caused this because you didn't help me. That's the way these people think. John Cook and LP got a fifth wheel for $1. Yeah, illegally. It's illegally on the property. You know, and I'm waiting until I see more about that, because I might call and say they're running an illegal campground. You know, that's, if you have people in it, you know, what the hell are you doing? There's, like Jeremy's pointed out, there's no occupancy permit. So you can't put all these fifth wheels and have people living on them without a permit. And I'm not one to really care. If you want to do something on your property, fine, do it. I really don't care most days. But you know, these are people who've been instrumental in denying people like Zim's permits and trying to interfere with things he wants to do. So that's the only reason. Okay, well, you all have chosen that side and are actively doing stuff. So don't get mad when, you know, people do that to you. Constant Griff, she is threatening her own stepchildren. Yeah, she's threatening her own daughter. We've already seen that. She's freaking nuts, man. This inaction has caused Mr. Hales further torment as Levy County Deputy Sheriff Detective and Levy County Victims Advocate family member. In fact, a Levy County Victim Advocate's family member physically accosted Mr. Hales. Levy County is not a safe place for people who are not considered locals. Everyone who visits or relocates to Levy County is a potential target from people of the institutions. That's, out of all of them, this is probably my favorite paragraph, because we're showing. Put the Hales aside. Let's forget about them. Let's look at everyone else. You're allowing this to happen to one, which means you'll potentially allow it to happen to everyone. Everyone's in danger. And that is like 1/8 of an inch. She'll take them out. Yep. Removing Judge DeThomasis would send a message to all of Levy County that their unlawful actions will not be protected. It will show you. It would show you are dedicated to the Constitution and to the values of our founding fathers. It would show that your office is committed to keeping Florida safe for any and all within its borders. This one action would do more for anti-corruption in Florida than the recent Form 6 law changes. I hope you take the time to consider this letter and many people who have watched these events unfold and are motivated to see change. Respectfully, M.T. Arthur, Veteran Nation. Footnote, there's our petition. We had another footnote, and it was taken out. I'm trying to remember what that was. I don't want to go through all the changes. I'm pretty happy with this. I might go back and look at that footnote. I'm pretty happy with this as it currently states. I'm pretty happy with this. What do you all think about this letter? Their victim card is being revoked, and they're so angry. Don't people get mad when you don't let them abuse you anymore? I remember when I first started going into therapy, and I was talking about the abuse I endured and how my abuser was still trying to, even though I had separated him, I literally left this area to get away from my abuser, and they were still doing things. And it was actually my first counselor who said, people who are abusers can never fully get over the control that they once had over you that they've now lost. And that, to me, I come back to that statement so many times. They are overacting even more. Silverman will be pulling out his hair if he had any. Oops, first take should be give. Is that something in here? Let me know if it's a change I need to make in the letter, if that's what it is. My concern is how bad things can get before something is done. Oh, absolutely. You're 100%, Gail. 100%. Yeah. Love this letter. Thank you so much. How do you say your name? Geki? Or Geeky? Let me know how you say that. Lynette is the reason value was invented. This appears to hit all the needed points. Yeah, I now understand there are people who wanted me to go more in depth, but I really wanted this one to be just a one-pager. It's technically 2 with the footnote. The letter is in a good way. And I actually might take this, I might take the footnote and put it here in the footer, just so that it is a one-pager, because the more direct and to the point you can be, the more likely when you're sending these, the more likely you will be taken seriously. Yeah, I gotta play with these margins. I learned on Microsoft Word. Google Docs is pretty good. I really do enjoy it, but there's stylistic things. And Microsoft Word does this to me. Every couple years they update and they move things around. And I'm like, now I've got to relearn what the frick this. I know how to do it, but now you moved it on me and I got to find it. Like, I don't want to spend time looking up where do I find this basic thing, because that is, especially when you go online, there are people who are like, I'm pretty advanced with Microsoft Office stuff, and I don't want to have to read through a bunch of crap that tells me here's how you open a document, like. So, but they do that so they can keep making money. Thank you, sir, for including my recommendations in this letter. It was written in written form to garner the attention of facts of what happened in the courtroom. Needed highlighted for including my recommendation. No, thank you for giving comments. For everyone who gave comments, whether I used them or not, I did take every comment under consideration. And, that's what made this letter better. All of us working together makes things better. My fear also, yep. She lies in court over and over again and gets away with it. She doesn't even realize that she's lying. When she says my mother died and then in 2 seconds later says my mother did not die, she doesn't even realize she's doing it. That's what's scary. That this is pathological people are pretty scary. Geki, okay, just about that. I'm from the Netherlands, and the G is a hard letter to say. Is it Heki? Do you pronounce it like an H? Okay. I will educate myself. I'll go and actually learn. I've never tried any of the Nordic languages, so it will be a test. One thing I do want to do, and maybe I'll move these pictures here. I want to put up a map of the world and a map of the U.S. And as people are finding my channel, I want to put a pin in where all you guys are, because I think it's really cool that I've got so many of you guys following me now. I I for a long time I neglected the YouTube. I was on other networks doing my weekly show, and this was just an archive. I just threw a lot of the episodes up. I and a lot of that was me because I knew I was not good at this yet. So it took me a couple years to figure out how to be better on camera. And if you go back and look at those old shows, I will apologize. I was so green, but I just had to figure it out. I didn't have anyone showing me. And I started studying and watching other people's stuff and watching, things about how to make better YouTube videos. And I've come, I'm still not, I don't consider myself an expert yet, but I've come a long way. And, I knew it was just a matter of time before I really found an audience. I remember when I was struggling with 400 followers, and I was so happy when just one person would join. It was like awesome. But I always said I will do this show if one person is watching, because if I can help one person out there, that's all. I've done my good to the world, because that's what it's about. Who knows? Maybe that one person you help, maybe they help 10,000. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here. I really do appreciate it. So make sure you are hitting the like and subscribe and comments. I thank you for so much of this stuff. I seen that more people want to comment on YouTube than they do on Twitter or any of the others. I do notice that. Um, I pray continually for you all. Yeah, I do too. I do too. I understand PTSD, and it has a forever lasting effect. It does, but it also does get easier. That's one thing I do want people to know, especially people suffering. It gets better if you work. Jeremy and George, I don't think have severe PTSD, so I think they'll definitely be okay. But for veterans out there, I've had a lot of them come out to me and they struggle, but it does get better. How is Miss Preston getting this injunction against Jeremy when Jeremy doesn't have two guilty charges on him? That's a good point. According to Florida state law, you have to have two guilty charges in order to file for an injunction. That's because they have not gotten into the details of the case. This judge has refused to get into the details of the case. He just wants to talk about, well, your attorney said he could have been done in 15 minutes. It's like, dude, just start getting things on the record and stop throwing crap off the record. Hi from the UK. Awesome. Let me know where in the UK you are. I've been there. I am going back as well. I need to know what the new Vet Nation Twitter is. I got an account suspended. It's okay, Vet Nation. Okay, it's at Real Vet Nation. I keep getting suspended from Twitter, but the good thing about me, every time I get suspended from Twitter, my next account gets way more followers. I'm up to over 2,000 now. I think I'm at 2,100 or 2,300. But yeah, at Real Vet Nation. You can also follow me on Instagram at Vet Nation Show. Anyone know what that's why my brother needed 15 minutes. Yeah, true. Oh my God, I missed that, Melissa, but you are 100% correct. How is there civil action actually legal? Yeah, it's not. The injunction is no longer temporary. It's illegal. I will make it easy for you. I'm in Florida, but thank goodness not in Levy County. I'm near Kennedy Space Center. That's cool. When I was like 13 years old, my grandparents used to go down to Fort Myers, and me and my cousin went down there, and I got to see one of the shuttles take off, even on the other side of Florida. That was a cool experience. I prefer YouTube. Yeah, for For Twitter, they are going to eventually be a video platform. So that's why I'm not going to give up Twitter. I do pretty good on Twitter. I enjoy the conversations. I also get my news there. Um, hey, Stacy, good morning. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have to do a Southern California meetup when you get down here. Normal people would have said, my mother seems to be dying, but she survived. People like Lynette can't keep lies straight. Yep, that's exactly true. Florida residents should contact Chuck Claremont. Happy Easter. Oh, yeah, happy Easter. Oh, you're from Gloucester? Oh, in Gloucestershire. Okay. I was in Warwickshire. Had friends in Redditch and friends in Rugby, where they actually invented rugby. That judge put out the injunction on Jeremy because he said Mr. Feather tried to bribe her. Yeah, and he didn't, and it should have gone away from that moment on. And it should never have been put on Jeremy. He didn't do anything. My son was an Army Ranger. His boot camp was June 2001. His final jumps were scheduled after 9/11. From what I understand, in dealing with reps of your state, you should request a response in writing from that office. Oh, should I add that to this? I'll happily add a line in here. Please respond. The judge refuses to look at the merits of the case. Very true, but was postponed due to flights shut down. Oh, okay, about your son's jumps. Um, I did not get to go to jump school, even though I should have. I was a logistics officer. We do air delivery. I had a spot for jump school, but it was taken away from me and given to another Marine. I'll get into that some other time. It was more political stuff, nothing that hurt my career or anything. I just didn't get to do the cool jumps. That was in What the Hell's community post 3 days ago. Yeah. If you're talking about this letter, yeah, I've been sharing this around. So if people put it there, thank you for those who did share it. Meet and greet for sure. Yep. I just took them. I had family in town. I took them down to Dana Point to the Mission of San Juan Capistrano, and that was a really cool thing. My dad's favorite movie is the movie Heartbreak Ridge, and it was partially filmed at the Swallows Inn right there in Dana Point. So we went there to check that out, and yeah, that was cool. I pray on sympathy, or Elle prays on sympathy. She dresses up more for the town hall than she does court. Yeah, true. Where do you think LP got the idea to say Feather tried to bribe her? I think that's just her MO. She just likes to lie about people. And yeah, as Jeremy's pointed out, she's going to eventually do the same thing with Silverman. So yeah. So I think we have the letter, I might add the response, request. Let's do that now. So that way they can give us some type of response. Most times it'll be a letter. But yeah, I might move this up here into the footer and then print it off and send it off this week. I was hoping to do this stream earlier in the week and get this letter finished, but life happens. It is what it is. I do want to talk about the other ethics complaints, and we'll watch a little bit of Madam Mayor's adventures. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. All of you, I'm only going to show a little bit of this. Go to their YouTube. Make sure you like this video. I want you to, I want you to subscribe if you're so inclined, but definitely like this video for Madam Mayor, because this is their content. I'm not trying to take it. I'm only going to show some snippets. I just want to focus on the ethics violation. Personally experiencing this situation, not showing fear is necessary, but doesn't mean I'm not fearful or afraid. I'm thankful for having a camera because it provides a faux barrier they seem to fear most. Oh yeah, they are scared that people find out the truth, and the camera is an objective witness. So keep filming. One thing, if I could tell Jeremy and George anything, I would tell them, and people can see I've got one on this channel. I do videos from it all the time. Get a dash cam. I know they drive and hold out their phones. Get a dash cam, because again, things fail. But you can get a dash cam that's on a rotate. I literally, well, I don't. Maybe I've got one right here. I've got SD cards all over the place. I got several in my car. So when something happens that, like it with my dash cam, I'm able to quick switch that out. When I got attacked in September, which you guys haven't seen the video of, I'm still dealing with court stuff from that. I am not going to be charged. That's the big thing. This is going to be a legal battle for me for years. I only can prove I would be in jail. I would have lost custody of my child. Like my life would be in shambles if I didn't have a dash cam. But I had a dash cam, and that night I was the one that called the police, and they, the other party said I attacked them. I couldn't play my dash cam because I bought a cheapy one off of Amazon for like $50. I'm glad I have it, but it just doesn't have a replay feature. But eventually, like the very next morning, I went into the sheriff's. I showed them that video, and that was my get out of jail free card. I was able to prove I was defending myself. And that's one thing I would say to them. Get a dash cam. Really, with all these people out there that are liars, I think most people should just get a dash cam. Why more cars aren't just building them in? I don't know. Tesla's doing it. In my opinion, they should. Don't forget to request. Yep. Okay. So we put that. Do you think that's okay in the letter? My request for a response. I'll add violations of the Sixth and Eighth Amendments. I believe I have Sixth. Do I have Sixth? I thought I had Sixth. Oh no, we took Sixth out. We did discuss the Sixth. I forget what the Eighth Amendment is. Let me know. Thank you for reading and answering all these questions. Yeah, no, I enjoy doing it. I want to make good content for you guys. Probably use the bribe tactic to prevent his 15 minutes to show. Oh yeah. I don't think she was incredibly calculating. I think that's just what she does. She accuses people of stuff. That's when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. LP threatened through your stepdaughter to have her dad put in jail. Yeah, this is what she does. That's her MO. Get a cheap body cam. The one thing I will recommend if you are thinking about a body cam, like I said, there's cheap ones off Amazon, less $50 or less. Get one if you can get it 360. Get that, but definitely get one front and back. It does take it's not incredibly hard to install. I'm an idiot. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. The only thing I did, it wanted me to drill holes to mount the camera. I'm not drilling holes in my brand new car, sorry. So what I did is I took twist ties and I was able to get it all rigged up for the back camera without putting any holes into my car. But I've got one front, one back. I don't have complete 360, but it's close. Like I think I lose 30 degrees on the left, 30 degrees on the right. But there are 360 degrees, and I'm actually looking at possibly upgrading right now. Tell the bride not to throw the bouquet near any redheads. I'm too pretty to get married. I am not a redhead. I do make them. I am a carrier of the disease. My son has the reddest hair. He's red hair, blue eyes, and left-handed. I swear to God, that kid should play the lottery. When push comes to shove, never show fear. Yeah, they will feed on the fear. They will. But also use the fear. Use the fear to go against them. But yeah, I totally understand that. When there's blood in the water, the sharks will circle. Cruel and unusual punishment for having to listen. That I don't think they would see eye to eye with that. I agree with you. Oh my God, her voice, that shrill voice. If they ever, okay, Christmas in the Creek is great, but if they ever do Halloween in the Creek or something like that, she needs to be the witch, and she doesn't need makeup. She doesn't need any prosthetics. She's only got 3 teeth. Gail, we all know who's really behind this, and they are using them, but yeah, Lynette is too stupid to realize the good old boys are throwing them under the bus for revenge on Jeremy. Oh, I don't think they've been using them the whole time. I think they are recently, but they They're definitely taking advantage. They're opportunists. But then again, it's because those good old boys are not smart themselves. They couldn't cover their own tracks. I mean, you presume too much, sir. Rub stick, get fire. Fire. Oh, oh. My mom is gonna watch this later. It was like, I was so embarrassed of you acting like a monkey. Me and my brothers will do that. Like when my mom has the remote control and she's trying, we'll be like, and you get all of us doing it. One excessive fine. Jeremy can't access his own property. Yeah, yeah. Madam Mayor's awesome. Crook made false allegations, but the ethics committee found nothing, so Cook can't harass her anymore. I think she should take some type of action against him. I don't think whatever they want to do. I don't want to tell them what to do. I think John Cook will try to do something else if he sees them. I think the DUI mentioned 6 different amendments were violated. Yep, yep. I'm blue eyes, redhead, southpaw. Only luck is bad luck. Oh, isn't that the way it goes? There's so much red hair in my family. My mom was a redhead. My grandmother's a redhead. My brother's a redhead. My son's a redhead. It's like we're stuck with it. The Supreme Court has held that the executive fines clause prohibits fines that are so grossly expensive as the amount depredation of property without due process of the law. Yeah, okay. We could have added that. Yeah. Rest the sus under a bigger investigation with the ethics committee. So we haven't heard much about that. We have, and I am very excited to hear when it does. No, Russ never came back to court after the bomb threat. I love how the supporters of John Lynette, especially Marley, were like, there was no bomb threat. Marley was like, I called the sheriff. They said there was no bomb threat. And first off, they're never, like, even if I were to call as a journalist, they're not going to admit unless they have to. They keep these things in the dark. But then when the judge said there was a bomb threat, it was like, hey, moron. Yeah, the judge even says you're wrong. I feel for Jessica, Deanna, and Travis as they are dealing with this, hanging over their head every single day. Why I feel for them is they should all feel safe in their own jobs and lifestyle. Absolutely. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a redhead. It shows the Irish background. True. If she was still mayor, there were a couple of state statutes that she could have gone to, and that the state could have gone after LP and JC. Yep. Is there a date on the letter? Yes, there is. Did I put? Oh no, I didn't because I'm not sending it yet. But when I sign it, I will date it. Apparently, there were threats in other courts. Okay. I do want to get. Let's watch Madam Mayor. I just want to deal with the new ethics complaint. I did watch this the other day. If there's an echo, let me know and I'll put in my earphones. But there shouldn't be.
And it basically just tells you we're checking it out. So here we go with this complaint.
I am going to put in earphones. I'm seeing that it's carrying over. I don't want you guys to get echoes. Where are my... Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. I'll still be able to hear it, you know.
No, we're not homosexual, but we are willing to learn.
I think that might be my favorite sound on my soundboard. Just because I love that movie so much. And we haven't seen Conspiracy Kitty yet, you know.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
All right, here we go into the ethics complaints. Make sure you like this video on Madam Mayor's channel.
As you can see, this complaint is filed from John Cook against Teresa Granger. And it was actually filed on October 16th. So in this one, it is typed out.
October 16th. So there was already an injunction at the date of this letter. So let's take a look and see if this ethics complaint mentions anything of Jeremy or George, because that could be another violation. Seeing your romantic, yeah, I figured there would be an echo. I went to the more sensitive mic, so we'll see. Now batting for the Dodgers, Manny Mota. This woman even picked up John when he fell, and what? Yeah, these are good people. They're. I'm glad we're having fun.
So I guess
Having
they
fun
didn't
at my
wanna
bad
do
production.
their handwriting again. And it says, to who it may concern. Our mayor, A-R-E, how it's spelled again. Our
Are you really retarded?
Yes, John Cook is retarded.
mayor of Otter Creek, Florida, Teresa Granger, cannot seem to grasp the concept that she is only a mayor by title only.
What is this supposed to mean? This is not a ceremonial position. And they keep saying this. And I believe that comes from Lynette. I think Lynette is really the one writing these letters. John's just... I think he's there and involved in writing, but I think she's the one actually doing the writing. And because there's certain things that John, I've seen when he's posted online, that he pushes, and certain things that she pushes. They both have their little quirks. But this whole, she's only it's only a title. No, she literally has duties. She runs she runs the meetings. She, has to run town hall. Like, she's involved. It's not a ceremonial position. She's not there just to, take the scissors and, hey, okay, we're opening a new park. It's not a ceremonial position. I don't get why they keep putting that. It's so stupid. Everything was dropped. John Cook was found. Unfounded complaint. Yeah, well, I figured as much. We saw that with the last one. I don't think any of his complaints are serious. I want to show this because I deal with harassment and corruption. This is a good one where I can show there is no corruption. It's transparency, and we saw that in the last one. I don't think Cook could read right. Lynette has bad grammar, run-on spelling issues. You may be right. I think the Jokeless may be involved as well. I backed away from her. I'm no longer engaging with her, but I was there for a while. I was straight up making fun of her to her face, telling her that she was a bad journalist, pointing out that I was the one that got her to admit that her posts are rumor and conjecture. And I go, you're a journalist. You don't post rumor or conjecture. Like, that is defamation. But yeah, I've backed away from engaging with her. Because ever since Megan Fox picked up, a lot of other people are doing. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have to be dealing with her. But she may. I don't think she wants anything to do with John Cook. I think she still will do stuff with Lynette, but she's tried to focus more on town hall. But the stuff she says is like the stuff she harps on, like the hard drives. Where are the hard drives? Who cares? Who cares? Do they have them? Yes. Okay. We don't need to know where they're stored. All we need to know is that they still have them. The thing is, hard drives, just like any other media, they deteriorate over time. So do you have them? Are they just a backup to the files? I was Mayor Mayhem's platform when she became mayor. Transparency. Yeah, absolutely. And sunshine is the best disinfectant. John is obsessed with the backside of men. Yeah. I bet you. When he's in jail, he will walk up to the biggest, baddest guy the very first day and become his bitch.
For the meetings, it comes with no special privileges. We have an election coming up in April. One seat is a one-year term because somebody resigned, so it needs to be caught up. Board member Russell Meeks just won his seat back in April. because of her hatred towards Mr. Meeks, she has decided that she has the power to put him right back up for election. Without taking a vote from the board and saying it on video, I make the decisions instead of taking...
They did take a vote.
Emotional damage.
I paused because I want to get to the comments, because there's one I really want to talk about. Since they didn't come to meetings, Russell is the one supplying them with the tapes in order for them to make the complaint and telling them they can complain about this and that. Yeah, true. I believe that. And I think he's encouraging them to make more and more. Again, why do all these people, they're not willing to stick their own neck out. They want others to. That's... Russ asked for sexual favors. This is the one I wanted to get to. So a resident could have had her water switched back on. Jeremy has 6,000 emails, loads of corrupt going on. Yeah, the sexual favors are the one I really want to talk about. If that person is, or persons are willing to go on the record, that's what's going to screw Russ over right there. Did you see the letter sent on Umbrella Guy? Tug and Megan did a live on it. I did not see it. It might have been one where I checked in on what they were talking about. I did have a busy week this week, and they were laughing about some other stuff. So I stuck around for probably about 10 minutes and then jumped out. But I love Tug. I love his tweets, especially when it's the Amber Heard psychos. So I will go back and take a look. I'm still going to trademark her poop bucket. I'm going to be a millionaire. Don't forget the pool noodle, the dollar store pool noodle around the end. Like you really just can't go buy a toilet seat. Like, seriously. Like, I've been a camper. I've been a Marine. I've had to go number 2 in some not great places. Like, I don't know why you would willingly do that, but, when you could build something better. But, yeah, the pool noodle, just get yourself a toilet seat. Russ's chicken. Oh, yeah, that's hallmark of people like him. He also is a not smart person. These are all people, their Mensa applications are still on hold, not accepted. Russ knows his button is a sling, and he's doxing everything. He can to push these two people like they don't have brains to do his dirty work. Russ is smarter than people give him credit for. Here's one thing. So I don't think Russ is actually that smart. I think he has smart people in his corner. And I think those smart people do give him good advice. I don't think he always follows it. Have you watched the fishing game video? Yes, I have. Also, Jeremy, half mil time to grow event. Yeah, good event. Russ asked Brett if Brett would ask his wife, Therese, before she was mayor, if he could sleep with her. Brett quit his job with the city. Okay, don't come on the stream telling lies. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that they did sleep. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, Lori. My apologies. I was wrong. I thought you were making that they had done that stuff. If Therese, if they did that with that and she's willing to go on the record, they're screwed. Inbreeding. Sorry about that, Lori. For a second, I thought you were one of the people from the uncensored group coming in here to throw things around. Yep, as I first learned from the Porta Crapper wall in 52 area, crab jump always. However, that's where I prefer a cat hole. Yeah, I've had to dig those. Not fun at all. I remember I got food poisoning out in the field out in Quantico when I was at the basic school, and yeah, those were some fast dug holes. Let me tell you. Well, that's not a lie. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was my screw up. I was reading it wrong, or I was reading it right, interpreting it wrong. And I do that. Did you guys see that video where the guy comes out and he's all happy? He comes out of his doctor's office, he gets in the car, and his wife's there, and he's like, "You're not gonna like what the doctor told me." And he hands her this paper, and she's like, "What?" And he goes, He said, you have, or they wrote down on here, you have to give me sex daily. And she looks at it, she goes, no, you idiot. It says you have dyslexia. She has 2 family members in the Levy County Board. Yeah, okay, so that's what I'm talking about. He has smart people in bigger positions giving him advice, and I think he sometimes listens to that. I don't think he's actually smart. Yeah, he really said that to Brett. Yeah, Brett said it. Yeah, again, my bad. I totally screwed that one up. If the entire city had that Hudson mentality, just do the right thing. It's so easy to especially in government, they make it all so easy to do the right stuff. It really is. It's harder to cover things up. That's why they say the cover up is always worse than the crime. So let's get back to the video. I just wanted to get to that one comment. Thank God they cleaned up the property out of the shed and now have a toilet. The child has a fenced area. Do they still have the security futon? That's what I want to know. Thanks to CPS and Fish and Game. Way to go, people. A way to get a safer environment for the child. Yeah. No. Big time. Buckle up. Yep. The truth is the truth, but lie will change daily. Too bad the child is still. Yeah, but I think we're getting to the point where we can save the child. I'm noticing, okay, 100 people in here. Everyone, please hit the like button because I'm noticing the chat is speeding up, and a lot of it's because more of you are in here. So I'll stop deflecting and get back to the video.
No, I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
To a vote. A lot of stuff like this is happening in our town, which usually happens when you put a first time elected into a job. They have no clue what they're doing with.
Hey, where are the white women at?
This needs to be stopped in Otter Creek before election time. John Cook.
What?
Okay, faggot, what's next?
John Cook. What? I'm gonna rewatch it again. Like seriously?
Do their handwriting again, and it says, to who it may concern. Our mayor, A-R-E, how it's spelled again, our mayor of Otter Creek, Florida, Teresa Granger, cannot seem to grasp the concept that she is only a mayor by title only. For the meetings, it comes with no special privileges. We have an election coming up in April. One seat is a 1-year term because somebody resigned, so it needs to be caught up. Board member Russell Meeks just won his seat back in April. Because of her hatred towards Mr. Meeks, she has decided that she has the power to put him right back up for election. Without taking a vote from the board.
They took a vote. This is why these people, like, you can literally go and watch Brett's video of the vote. It's on Facebook. Maybe I'll do a mashup and show this, but yeah, this is the worst ethics complaint available. Like, this is horrible.
Son of a bitch!
Like, you didn't even present it correctly. Like, this is your complaint has zero merit. Everything you say did not happen. They took a vote. Now, here's the thing about it. If Russ had a problem with the vote, okay? If he had a problem, when they took that vote, that would have been his time to get a lawyer, take the town to court, and challenge it. That's what he should have done. However, he didn't. So there's going to be an election in, 4 days? 4 or 5 days, and it's done. He will lose standing. It's too late. It's too late. He hasn't filled out Form 6, so even if he did challenge it now, I think a court would still rule against him because he hasn't taken the steps to qualify for the election. Conspiracy Kitty, by the way, is up here. I'm going to turn this down a little bit so you can see he's laying right here on my keyboard. He's just going to get in the way of all my stuff. But Conspiracy Kitty is in the house. He is here. He wants to talk about bridges collapsing and black boxes being wiped, right? That's what you're here to do, right? That and get love. So let's get back to your guys' comments. 4-1. Guess who voted no? Yeah, Russ. What about the check Russ had Mary do without the council's votes to that audit that the auditor found? Oh, absolutely. That's a violation right there. I mean, if Russ let a lot of this stuff go and just went quietly into that good night, the ethics board probably wouldn't take up a lot of the stuff, but he's not. He's digging his heels in and fighting this stuff. And when you, like I always used to say in the military, because in the military you get offered what they call non-judicial punishment. And we call it NJP, and it's in lieu of a court-martial, where you can pretty much, you go in front of the CO or someone that the CO appoints, and that person decides if you're guilt or innocence. And they're limited as to what punishments they can give you. That's the benefit of not going to a court-martial, is a lot of things get taken off the table, punishment-wise. But I always used to be like, for those who got to a certain point in their military career, if people had a problem with something that they did, and they were like, "Well, I'm taking this to court-martial," I was always like, well, right there. That shows you that they don't believe that they're guilty to other officers. Because I'd have other officers who would be like, "No, I'm going to court-martial them," and I would be like, "Well, first off, you can't." Or they were like, "I'm going to NJP him," and I said, "First off, you can't. You have to offer them NJP, and if they say no, then you can either drop it or take it to court-martial." And I said, if they're saying no to NJP, and they're not like like really like an E3 or something really low ranking, I go, this is probably someone who knows that you can't prove the case. They're probably innocent, and you should just let it go. But people like Russ, who dig their heels in and are like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Like I had several officers who, "No, I'm going forward with NJP." And sure enough, then it would be like, that person would be like, "No, you can take me to court-martial." And then they'd be like, tell the CO, "I want to court-martial this person." The CO would be like, "Okay, well, what proof do you have?" And that's when you'd find out that it was just a personality thing and there was no proof. And guilty people will start yelling and screaming. Innocent people will just be like, "Okay, prove it." That was my observations. And Russ fighting, it's like, dude, this could have all just gone away and been done, but you want to fight harder and louder. The Meeks doesn't qualify this year. Yeah, he didn't fill out Form 6, so you can't serve past June, I believe it is. There is no election. All individuals were unopposed because Stewart dropped out. Yep. But there will still be, I thought there's still an election. It's just everyone's unopposed. I thought there was still an election. They just weren't going to seat them. You need to do a stream with the town hall meetings. This year, somebody put a post up saying that they stopped the election. But fact is, there were 4 seats and ended up being only 4 people. Yeah, and that was, in my opinion, it was probably Russell who put that stuff up. Either him or one of his cronies, a guy with a country life channel. because I did see he did some things on it. I don't watch his videos though, because I don't give him any help. What do you think about MLS communicating with John Cook? Um, I mean, if John reached out to me and wanted to come on this show, I would have him on. Here's why. Again, John is not the brightest bulb in the box. He is going to say something to get himself in trouble. Uh, MLS, I think he's just trying to create controversy, and is using what the hell's for views. That's why I don't try to tag what the hell's. I don't want to be viewed as I'm using them. I will absolutely, Madam Mayor, they have a small channel just like me. I will absolutely highlight them and tell people, which if you haven't, go to her channel and make sure that you like this video as well as several of their others. I will promote people. What the hell's doesn't need my promotion. I don't want to make money off of them. I do want to help their situation, and I do want to fight the corruption that they're fighting. That's been my motivation since day one of watching them a year ago. That's when I went from being just a casual viewer to watching every single video. I watch the storage videos primarily because I think Jeremy is very funny. And George is funny too, and I love when you get to see George's humor, but you don't see it as much. But I do think Jeremy's funny. It's just when they get back to those, I probably won't be as avid of an. I'll still watch, but I won't be an everyday watcher. Now when it started with the corruption, that's when I said I'm going to watch every day, and I started commenting more and more. And then when all this happened with Lynette and John, on Facebook, I was like, okay, I'm on board with this because I've known people like Lynette, and they're not good people, and they thrive when they think people are on their side, and they hate it when they know people are against them. Same thing with Shar. The same thing there. She's the same type of personality. So that's why I've confronted both of them so hard. Not so much using this channel, but on my personal Facebook, yeah. And just FYI, for those of you who do send me Facebook requests, I do not accept Facebook requests for people I don't know, simply because I have a lot of family. That's how I keep in touch with a lot of family and a lot of the Marines that I've served with, and that's for that. You have to keep parts of your life personal. Now, if I ever meet you and become friends with you, then I'll send you most likely a friend request then. But just know I have so much of my other social media open, and you can absolutely my Twitter, my Instagram, True Social. Go to those. You can DM me. I keep my DMs open. I'll happily interact with you. Now, if you're on the Veteran Nation group on Facebook, you can interact with me right there. You can @ me there, no problem. Same thing as if you're in the Otter Creek, the Shady Bunch. I'm in there too. And I will do group chats in those. So you can also, if you want to talk with me, you can do that. And, but I don't add people, but you can come in there and be like, hey, I'm going to send you a DM on Facebook, and I'll accept your DM then. I just don't take Facebook requests. It's my understanding that the reason MLS video was struck is because he edited out Jeremy commentary, which could be fair use violation. I'm not saying what happened by what he said. He's a lawyer. He should know that What the Hells is trademarked. The name What the Hells is trademarked, and he was using that too. Russ got PO'd because his so-called power was taken away, and the new mayor basically dethroned him for a year publicly by voicing his corruption under his reign and using LNP or LNJ. True. I think MLS is asking for trouble to come into his life. Oh, I think so. Biscuit Boy is now the Jokeless puppet. Yep, very true. Latest storage vid is awesome. He was going to give it back, but the owner wanted some files. Okay, very nice. I did not watch it. I did see it was a storage video. This was a busy week for me, and I was doing some other stuff. MLS didn't make commentary over the video. Okay. Good morning. Facebook is where I associate with friends and family only. Yeah, that's kind of how I take it. I actually hate Facebook, but yeah, I do. I troll a lot of people on Facebook in groups. I need to stop that. I just do stuff to make myself laugh. Can the Jokeless even lift Biscuit Boy? Oh no. She's small. Will that ever happen, Marlene? I don't know. Lost. Who is MLS? MLS. He owns a channel. He's a lawyer, and he has a channel here. Yeah, make law simple. Yeah, but he's not a big part of LawTube. I did see that Scott Sloan posted that he's a big Jeremy hater, and I've heard people say that he is a convicted felon. Don't know if that's true, but he runs Otter Creek Uncensored on Facebook, which is a big Lynette and John supporters group, and he posted that he has a YouTube channel with like 56,000 followers. So very interesting. He comments on technology stuff. I find that interesting. You're an inspiration. Our vets deserve to be taken care of for risking their lives for our freedom. I just try to do what I can. That's all I can do. But I do try to make, the world a little bit better of a place from my little compound out here in the desert. YouTube channel lawyer that has started helping, but started telling VJH that he was acting dickish. Well, here's the thing: you have a right to be a dick. If you think that's what Jeremy's doing, he has a right to. You don't have to like it. You can just move on. Razilla's realm, but he is a hero. Buddhist. Sorry, it's just really small for him. I should. Oh, my glasses are in the other room. I should have my glasses on. The BSTC said in the video about a month ago about January 4th was a lie and defamation. I researched it. Never had Jeremy been arrested or detained in Levy or any other county in Florida. Yeah, John just comes up with stuff and just starts throwing it out. I do remember when she posted, or when Lynette started filing things, and he said, "Oh, things are going to change. Jeremy's going to be arrested." Yeah, that never came to pass. I think the MLS and Jeremy issue needs to be duked out between them and only them. Well, I think that would be an unfair fight. Jeremy has too big of a platform. You need to join Otter Creek Spilling the Sweet Tea. I'm a member there. You're just telling people there. Yeah, that's Marlene's group. I am a member there. My husband is retired Air Force. Thank you for what you do. No, thank you. And if any veteran wants to do anything to help the family with Harley Grace, I would. If a veteran wants to spearhead that, we can talk about how I can use Veteran Nation to help. Whatever is going on with MLS and Jeremy is between them. They will work it out, or they won't. It doesn't need to be in everyone else's streams. Not fair to current streamer. I don't care if you talk about that. I mean, this is free for all. Talk about it. If anyone wants, I love the drama. I love the drama. And this is stupid YouTube drama. So, go right ahead. You guys want me to talk about it? I'll talk about it. This is my opinion channel. I throw stuff out there. Is he the sex offender from Nebraska? No, he is not. I'll look up that guy's name, but he was a part of that group. They readily accepted him into the group. And to my knowledge, they have not kicked him out. I'll look that up. I'll look that up to see if they've kicked him out of the group. I think I still can. They kicked me out of the group, but I don't believe they banned me, so I was able to still look things up about the group. Me too, I don't like Facebook. MLS wanted to get both sides of the stories, neither likes nor dislikes the other side. He has strong opinions of Jeremy based on his own interactions with him. Well, I mean, he has a right to his own opinion. However, if he starts having John on to spew lies, now he can potentially be liable for stuff if he doesn't separate himself from those lies and doesn't try to silence people combating those lies. Correct, Beverly. Meeks and his accomplice removing boxes of records. Well, that was Richard, and I don't think Richard knew what was happening from Town Hall. There are videos. Yeah, there are videos of that. Totally agree with you, Beverly. Can Jeremy get in trouble because MLS reached out to John and Lynette? I don't see how he could. If anything, the people taking the risk are John and Lynette because they're potentially breaking the Ohio Civil Protection Order. Cole Allen, yeah, that was the pedo, the child porn guy who joined Otter Creek Uncensored. T Underwood I'm not losing sleep over it. I agree, it's their business. Just saying before it escalates into MLS hates Jeremy or vice versa. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, even if I don't agree. I know how Jeremy operates. He's just going to say he's not going to give that guy any much of a platform. Unless if that guy starts harassing. And I think that's very fair for Jeremy to do it, to approach things that way. Whoa. Okay, okay, sorry. For technically, yes, Jeremy could get in trouble because of that. How could Jeremy get in trouble for MLS posting stuff of John and Lynette and then Jeremy trying to get it taken down? I don't see how he can get in trouble for it. He made a claim against his about his trademark being used. I don't see. The judge said that his fans or third parties could end up with Jeremy in jail. That was changed. Based upon the Bud Love decision in Florida. That's why the judge had to amend his order. So Jeremy supporters, unless if they can prove that Jeremy told his supporters to do anything, there's nothing that Jeremy can be held accountable for anymore. Jeremy is, as long as Jeremy sticks with protected speech, which Jeremy has always stuck with protected speech, then Jeremy cannot get in trouble for anything there. But you can't stop on MLS's rights either. I don't think MLS has the right to do stories, but he doesn't have a right to violate Jeremy's trademark. I will say that. And people get confused between copyright law, which is fair, where fair use comes in, and trademark law, which is fair use does not come in. That is why Disney for years has been putting Steamboat Willie at the front of their movies as a trademark for the last 10 years, I'd say, because they knew that the tide was turning and people wanted Mickey Mouse into the public domain. So they started trademarking it. Now that's only going to get Disney so far, but on right after New Year's, all these people started putting Steamboat Willie stuff, and Disney was making them take it down because it's trademarked. Active duty soldier is home for the weekend. The Army mom is happy to have her a bit of time with him. Well, that's good. What bases has he been to? And show him on veterannation.com. So right there, I've got shirts that I'm posting of the bad reviews for all the bases. So show him the ones that I have, and if I need to do more bases, I want to. In fact, I'm thinking of doing one of Naval Station Lemoore because I came across some really funny things people were saying. Not for the posting, but for MLS to contact Cook or Lynette. MLS can contact. I can contact. But Jeremy's never told me to contact any. I've never had a direct discussion with Jeremy. So he's never. So if I reach out to John and Lynette, I can. They post their email and their phone number publicly, so anyone can technically contact them. I'm just looking. Only make fun of Jeremy Hales. I'm saying he has a right to interview but can't use. Yeah, that's true. Can't use his trademark. Russ wanted Teresa in bed. Even asked Brett after Russ did everything he could do to make trouble for the Rangers, and still he's a POS. That is really sick. Like, to go to a man to want to sleep with his wife, that is so sick. I'm gonna switch up because unless if you guys want to watch more of Madame Mayer's video, I covered what I wanted to. I don't want to take all of her stuff. Go to her video and watch it all. Madame Mayer at Madame Mayer's Adventures. That's they've got some good videos there. Cornstar, did you watch MG Law stream? Not the last one, but the one before, hour and 15 minutes in. I have watched a couple of MG Law's videos this week. I did watch a couple of them because he was doing stuff that I'm really interested in. Jeremy always says, do not contact anybody in these. Yeah. Well, Jeremy says that, but okay, for like me, if I wanted to have Lynette and John on my show, I don't care what Jeremy says. Jeremy's his own separate entity. I'm my own separate entity. I have the right. I can contact them. I can talk to them if they're willing to talk to me. What you shouldn't do is harass them, and no one should ever harass them. And if you contact them, only do it in things of good faith. And Jeremy does not want anyone contacting on his behalf. So do not contact on Jeremy's behalf. If you contact them, make sure it's for a legitimate reason. I won't have them on my show. If they reach out to me, if they were to reach out to me, I would have them on the show. I would give them a platform to say their stuff, and it would not be a good interview for them. Because I've been following this, so I know what's been said. And I actually have my own screenshots of what John and Lynette have posted. So I would confront them with that. And so I know what they would say is, oh, no, they're not. No, they're not, because I took those screenshots myself. I was in Lynette's Friends and Neighbors group when it was active. I was in her Heart of Otter Creek when it was active. Fort Sill, Fort Leonard Wood. Oh, Fort Lost in the Woods. I've heard some. Okay, those two. I had an uncle at Fort Sill, a great uncle. His Ohio Junction said, yeah, he can't contact. And he can't tell anyone to contact on his behalf. But I can contact. That junction is not me. Fort Leonard Wood is a rough place from what I hear. Graf in Germany. Lewis McCord, that's in Florida. Okay. He's going to K-Town in Germany this summer. Okay, nice. Oh, Germany's beautiful. Beautiful place. Using Germany's trademark is why Biscuit Boy is in trouble. Yep, absolutely. It's illegal for someone to use someone's brand without permission. Yep, absolutely is. That would be a lot of BS. I'm late to the party, but won't LP and JP be in trouble for speaking out on Germany per the Ohio? Yes, they would. Yes, they would. So they're dumb if they were to reach out and talk to somebody. If they did talk to MLS, they're stupid for doing it. Have to start on dinner. Oh, you're making dinner this early? Are you doing something that's going to take all day? Russ the Sus is not a real man. Real men wear overalls. Have start or JBL. Oh, it's yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking. What's the one I'm thinking of that's down in Florida? Tacoma. Okay. So I haven't been to Lewis McCord. I've been to Whidbey Island. What beautiful place. Anyone ever you want to go to someplace nice? Go up to Washington and check out Whidbey Island. There is some beautiful places up there. I'm gonna pull up because I did want to talk about this. Because I've been talking about this on my social media. I don't think I did a lot of videos about it. But Disney and DeSantis, they ended their battle. This says stalemate. No, it's not a stalemate. DeSantis absolutely won. State of Florida won. I went as far as to listen to LNC's live streams and listen to their horrible accusations, so I know how this started. Team Hales all the way. Yeah, they're ridiculous. So what started as a public statement condemning Florida's so-called "Don't Say Gay" law devolved into a years-long bitter feud in which neither side won. Okay, it wasn't just that. Okay, it wasn't just a public statement. They said they were going to actively fight against it and were donating to causes. So it wasn't a public statement. They didn't make a public statement, but it wasn't just a public statement. But the whole thing about it is the law in Florida was passed. It was passed legally. And this is why, as a company, when you have something, Disney had Reedy Creek, which they should not have had. Like Reedy Creek, they had for decades. A lot of people said that was unfair. And when you have something like that, you shut up and you don't play politics. Disney's lost out on potentially trillions. They've definitely lost out on at least hundreds of billions of future dollars. Would love to stream with you again sometime. Yeah, we need to do more, Eric. Everyone check out Eric's channel. You see how he has KD7LTN. If you search that, that's his call sign for his ham radio. He's got some cool videos. So check him out. He is a veteran. He's also a minister. What is Lynette's page name? Which one? Which one? But it's a shelving page. That's the main one that she has. She has purged most of her groups. I'll say that. A bunch of us used to be in her groups, but she purged them. Conspiracy Kitty is back up here. Come here. Come on the stream. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. Okay, now you can lay down here. Flying to Spokane, Washington later this week. Very nice. 4:30 p.m. in Ireland, so near dinner time. I hope you have a good Easter out there. You're in Ireland, so my chances of you being Catholic are pretty good. LA Push Breach 2. My main man, much love to you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Disney has always been for everyone, and it should be. It should be. However, don't get involved in politics. Let politics stay politics. I was not happy the last time I went to Disney World. I did not like how there were adults pushing children out of the way. And that absolutely happened to my nephew. He was trying to meet Chewbacca, and a young woman in her early 20s pushed my nephew out of the way. So I was not happy. And I've done videos and people got mad at me about my video. I don't care. I can imagine the amount of little blue pills not going to waste, littering his hiding spot since he can't use them while invoking favors. Like, Russ the sauce. Russ the sauce. DeSantis is a low quality human. You're entitled to that opinion, but this law was passed legally, and Disney should not have done what they did. The lair of the cat creature. I've been waiting for the whole screenshots of Cook and Preston are released. There are a few people that shared that should be prepared to eat crow. Oh yeah, there's a lot of them out there. I've got several myself. So at the top of the year, Disney lost a pivotal First Amendment lawsuit claiming that the Republican government violated its free speech rights by assuming control of the special task district. They actually didn't lose that lawsuit. Okay, this is, again, Hollywood Reporter. This is a really crappy news place, but I'm highlighting them to show the other side and to show how the other side looks at this. Disney didn't lose. Their case was dismissed for lack of standing because the state. So there was the Disney versus Central Florida Oversight Travel District lawsuit in the state. That lawsuit determined that Disney did not have a right to Reedy Creek. Reedy Creek was a government entity. The state of Florida decided, hey, we're going to change this and expand it to the Central Florida Oversight Travel District. They passed those laws, regardless of what the motivation was. That's government's right. The government can change forms of government. A corporation doesn't have a right to run its own government, which is what was happening. And so because they don't have a right to it, they lacked standing. They could not show damages. So they didn't lose the lawsuit. The lawsuit was dismissed. So again, that's in this article, that is something that this journalist is already getting wrong by a biased opinion. I'll have more respect for DeSantis if he replaces DeThomasis. So would I. Absolutely. Call it both ways. DeSantis installed Damasus to the bench. Yeah, proves. Well, here's the thing. A lot of these appointments are made at the behest of donors and things like that, or people like I would bet that the representative in Levy County told DeSantis, "Hey, appoint this guy to judge. He's a good guy." DeSantis doesn't know him, at all, and it was just like, "Okay, yeah, I'll appoint him." But now that it's come to light, if DeSantis does not take action, then that's where he becomes corrupt. I have to dip out. Please save post so I can watch later. Okay, yeah. Come back anytime you need to, and I'll be around. I try to respond to every comment when I can. You should realize he made a huge mistake. Absolutely. What YouTube channel is Lynette and John? I don't think they do have channels. I don't think they post to them. I believe they had just interacted with MLS channel. In fairness, there weren't many people to choose from to fill that seat. Yeah, DeSantis was one of the few, and looking at the Levy County politicians, do what he could, lesser of two evils. He still sucks. Yeah, those situations do come up. DeSantis was eventually voted in after a short appointment. With a lot of these government positions, there are a lot of people who don't want to be any part of government at all. So finding people who want to take the job is tough. Especially when it's these small things that most people don't care about. I understand that Thomas's docket is almost empty. Would not be surprised. The ruling further endangered plans to invest $17 billion over the next decade to fuel growth at Walt Disney World. No, it didn't. No, the ruling didn't do that. That's Disney's choice if they want to do it. All they have to do is follow the rules that Central Florida Travel District put in place. Reedy Creek illegally signed contracts with Disney, essentially establishing an HOA, which Disney should not be an HOA member because it's not a housing authority. And they didn't do proper public comment. Whenever, in a lot of states, California being one where I am, and Florida being another, you have to have at least, before you pass a law or you change, fees or raise taxes, stuff like that, you have to have public comments given to you. Reedy Creek, that was controlled by Disney, did not do those public comments. They did one hearing. You have to do two and then pass the law. And here's the other thing. When you make changes after a public comment, guess what? You got to add in another public comment. That the comments for the verbiage that's going to be voted on has to go in front of the public twice. And Reedy Creek did not do that. So that made everything that they did at the 11th hour trying to get around the Florida State Legislature passing this law. That's the thing. All DeSantis did was sign his name to that bill. The Florida Legislature is really the one that did everything. And that's what happens for years. Disney used to donate to both sides of the politicians, used to play nice with both, and that's why they were able to keep Reedy Creek. Both parties were benefiting. But then when they decided to choose a side, guess what? The other side said, okay, well, now we're going to get rid of this. Same thing that's why Mickey Mouse is now in the public domain. That's exactly true about government. That's why Creek has such a big trouble when it comes to getting somebody on the commission. Yeah, very true. I actually think the town should be dissolved and Otter Creek should be a water district. DeThomasis lost the election, but then someone died. Actually, I believe someone resigned is what my understanding. And DeSantis ran in Alachua County. I think they also had to do some things where he had to establish residency in Levy County, if I remember correctly. Crying emoji. Isn't Disney nearly like a mini communist country inside a state? It was. So Disney used to have Reedy Creek, just like how the Villages has its own special district. Reedy Creek was a special district, and it was designed so that Epcot, when they built Epcot, people were supposed to live. It was supposed to be a city. And so when Florida did create it, it was created in good faith, thinking that, okay, when Epcot opens, all these people will live there and be voters. But then Disney changed their plans. No one ever lived in Epcot. It just became a theme park. And then the only people who could live there were people. There's like a small campground that people can live in, and Disney was telling they were picking executives and saying, okay, you're going to go on the Reedy Creek, which means you have to move into this place that we own. We own the little condo or trailer, whatever it is. You have to live there, but you'll be on the Reedy Creek board. And they were given special perks for doing that, which is also illegal. Disney opened themselves up to so much liability. Like Disney had their people at Reedy Creek pass bonds fraudulently. They said that these were independent bonds, did not do an independent review. These were bonds only backed by Disney, the company, and that's illegal to do. You can't sell that to the public as a security. So it's securities fraud. So Disney could end up with a lot of big problems because they were so used to, well, this is ours, we'll just do whatever we want with it, that they were operating illegally. Circuit Court judge oversees several counties. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't. I knew he was in a Lucha County, but I didn't realize. Yeah, he is a circuit court judge. Hadn't thought about that. They set the police and fire departments back 100 years. Are you talking about Otter Creek town? Otter Creek. Wait, you're talking about Reedy Creek. Reedy Creek did not improve its fire department, and as soon as Central Florida Travel District came in and took over, they immediately got the improvements that Disney was not making. Disney's going to have to also now pay for a lot of its rides and things be brought up to code. The big one is the monorail. The monorail has not been following proper codes from what I understand. DeSantis wasn't faring any better. He lost hundreds of millions of dollars in economic development when Disney calling him anti-business. Well, yeah, but that all went away when he created the Central Florida Travel District, because Universal is now expanding. Universal has said, oh, yeah, we want this. And you're going to see other theme parks. So, again, this is just semantics. It's like Florida saying they yanked plans for an office complex in Orlando that would have added more than 2,000 high-paying jobs. Disney was going to move jobs from California to Florida. Well, that DeSantis didn't lose that money. That was Disney. They just decided, we're just going to lay off 7,000 people instead of moving them from a heavily taxed state to a less taxed state. That's all they did. So, and that really wasn't anything DeSantis did. It was just a business move that Disney did because they were paying way too much in taxes in California. And now they're talking about how they're gonna expand in California, and I'm like, yeah, Disneyland has no, like, they have to tear down stuff to build stuff. There's nowhere where they can expand because of Disneyland being there, the land around it now, that's caused to be overpriced. Then being that it's in California, it's already overpriced because California incentivizes land being overpriced. Okay, Reedy Creek is who you were talking about. Okay, yeah. And you were absolutely right. The police and fire of Reedy Creek was badly neglected. Now it's Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, and they're finally getting the money that they need to. Probably in part because Jeremy's lawyers have asked not to have cases in front of DeThomasis. They may have asked that, but I mean, that's really on the chief judge. And the chief judge might be saying, well, because all this stuff is going to be up at higher levels, we're just going to, lighten your load. The monorail wasn't to code in Anaheim either. Yeah. And they've had to shut down the people mover in Anaheim. I think it still operates in Disney World though. But yeah, lots of problems with the monorail. The deal starts the process of winding down a multi-front legal battle that began with Disney's opposition to Parental Rights and Education Act. That hasn't stopped Disney or DeSantis from proclaiming victory. Well, Disney did not win anything. Everything DeSantis did is now acknowledged as law. So DeSantis won. He won. The Republican governor said his actions have been vindicated. Yeah. Now Disney has to bend to his will. Again, this was a fight that Disney picked and they lost. The optics of DeSantis' retaliation against the largest employer tell a different story. No, they really don't. People in the media like to say that, but really, people got to see what was really happening. Rep. Anna Masaki, a Democrat from Orlando, questions whether DeSantis sanctified long-term economic interests of the state for a failed presidential campaign. Here's the thing. Bob Iger wanted to be president too. So Bob Iger was doing what he was doing for a presidential campaign. Bob Iger just didn't realize that all of his policies would fail. And Disney is straight up failing. Like it's not even close. Disney is failure after failure. Like whether we're talking movies or their TV shows, they have very few wins. Last year, Bluey made money. Bluey is a good show that people like, and the other one was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That was their only two on TV and movies. Those were their only two hits. And Guardians of the Galaxy, well, it was a great movie. It really barely broke even, but they had some huge losses. Indiana Jones 5, that franchise is dead. It lost $500 million. The Marvels, that they've already announced that looks like Brie Larson is leaving. That they went from making $1 billion to they lost almost $500 million. I think they lost $350 million on the Marvels. Just Deadpool will be a win for them this next year, but they've gotten rid of all the other things that they were doing, or they've significantly delayed them. Snow White, that live action Snow White, they had to replace all the human characters with CGI characters, and that movie they should just shelve that and just take the tax loss on it. The people that are right now doing all the writing at Disney have no new ideas. They're literally, I was reading, they're talking about doing Freaky Friday 2, which is an idea the writers of 20 years ago had, and so they're trying to recycle that. And it's like, you're not coming up with anything. Like, you're not coming up with any new ideas, and what you do badly. My mom lived in a trailer park next to Disneyland when pregnant with me, so she says. Well, yeah, there are people who can live in that trailer park that was in the Reedy Creek district. But there's other trailer parks around there, like Celebration. Celebration is a Disney-run town, but again, it had to be open, and it's got its own independent special district. Or actually, I think it actually might have a town council. It's got its own thing, and that's why what Epcot was supposed to be is actually what Celebration is. So it was stated in the writ that the three attorneys fear that DeThomasis would hold it against them. Yes, it was. And they wouldn't get their clients fair for hearings. True, but that also, why would you clear the docket for that have attorneys that aren't touched on with this case? So I just don't know. I just don't know. When you get into these different court systems, first off, each state has its own rules, and each of these court circuits and appeals districts and stuff like that, they all can have different ways of operating. Do you think any of it stems from the Johnny Depp thing? Johnny taking from Pirates of the Caribbean. They're going to reboot Pirates of the Caribbean. They've already said they're going to boot it with a black female character, which, again, that's why Disney fails, is because they do these stupid gender swaps, okay? Like, if you want to do a movie about a female black character, I got no problem with it. But race swapping these characters, like, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's fake. It's token. What I'll say. It's tokenism. Just create. If you want to do another movie with Johnny Depp and make another pirate, a main character, a black female, I'll watch. I will watch. But they just go. They want to replace what you love. That's what Disney wants to do, and they've been upfront about it. They're about ready to lose big time with this Elon Musk lawsuit with Gina Carano. That will not be a settlement, and I'll get into that a little bit. I like Pirates of the Caribbean. Maybe it's just Johnny Depp. Also, Johnny Depp made that series. He was nominated for an Academy Award of the first one. He made that series. Alice in Wonderland. I haven't watched any of the newer Disney movies. Most of them suck. I've watched several of them. I got a kid. Most of them suck. Why are they losing so much money turning against Johnny Depp? It's not just Johnny Depp. They want to do this DEI thing. Well, when your focus is equity, it doesn't become excellence. Like, I'm not saying don't have equity. Absolutely have equity, but don't make that the first thing. Like, you first tell a good story. Make the fans happy. Like, give the fans something. That's what they have to. And that's what they've been openly antagonistic. Look at Star Wars. Star Wars, like, the last several shows have sucked. This Acolyte series that's coming out is the first Star Wars property to ever get completely just shattered. They put out the trailer, which they've been sitting on for a year. They put it out, and it's got like something like 500,000 dislikes. Because and who's the director behind it? Harvey Weinstein's former assistant. Why would you ever hire Harvey Weinstein's former assistant? Like, that's a problem right there. But she said this new series is going to highlight her gay queer identity as a woman. Well, I want a good Star Wars. Sorry, Conspiracy Kitty is putting his tail in front of the camera. Why would I want a good Star Wars story? I grew up with Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Give me a good Star Wars story. I don't care about if you're a lesbian or not. That does not interest me as a Star Wars fan. Just give me a good Star Wars story about aliens and intergalactic war. That's what I want. But you get a lot of these DEI people. They can't write stories that people really have interest in. So that's why they have to bait and switch you. They're going to do a Star Wars story, but it's about lesbianism. That's why they do that. Depp case killed Disney. They fired him for false allegations. They killed their biggest golden goose, Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, true. Very true. But this Gina Carano lawsuit, okay, I'll get into this. Well, first let me get through these comments, and then I'll get into Gina Carano. Yes, I heard that, but again, people are pissed they took JH off of it and went against him. Or I think you're talking about Johnny Depp. Yeah, people are pissed about that. They love Johnny Depp. And Amber Heard she's a bed crapper. I think when they removed Melodyland, Disney's own church was beginning at the end with me. I'll have to look into that. I didn't read about that. Disney screwed up believing AH and firing Johnny Depp. Yeah, they thought they had to make this public show of support for women. No one cares. You don't have to do that. Disney keeps rebooting classics and making them woke, yes, to their detriment, while most of their foreign partnerships are creating some halfway decent new creations, but not in English. Yes, very true as well. So let me talk about this Elon Musk and Gina Carano lawsuit and why this is bad for Disney. So Gina Carano was fired by Disney. She is in California. It broke California law. And I know people, because I've had people be like, California is a right to work state. Yes, it is. You can fire people. But even though it's a right to work state, you can't fire people for anything. There are protected things that you cannot fire people for. And in California, One of them is political speech. So let me transition to solo. We don't need to keep that up. So political speech, California literally has a law. You can say whatever you want about politics at work, and or as long as it's not disruptive, and you can, your job is protected. Gina Carano put out tweets. She was not at work. She was not disrupting her work. She was putting out tweets. And Disney then fired her. But the real thing that screws Disney over is the people that people like what's her name, Kathleen Kennedy, and a couple of the other directors and stuff for the shows. They then piled on and said bad things. We're putting out tweets negative to Gina Carano. The other thing is they fired Gina Carano via Twitter, which also is a problem. So, being that they did all this, they broke California law. So she has a lawsuit that she will win. Now, what does Disney love to do that they're now failing? They love to be the bully. They love to take their lawyers and bully people. They've been doing it for decades. But with the thing with Ron DeSantis and with this thing with Gina Carano, they are going to be the bullied. And here's why. With Florida, Disney was paying for Florida's lawsuits because Central Florida Oversight District, they have to pay taxes to that. So they were literally paying Central Florida Oversight Tourism District to sue them. They were paying for them to be sued. There's nothing you can do about that. They have to pay taxes to Florida. They sued Florida, but Florida countersued. So you're picking a fight with a bigger person, okay, who you can't bully. Because governments, for the most part, if you're in a fight with the government, if you're not 100% right, you better have some deep pockets because they have no limit. Where you can fight government is in the public sphere, like how Jeremy's doing. So that's where Disney screwed up with Florida. With Gina Carano, Elon Musk has said, "Hey, I will back her lawsuit. I will pay for it." Well, what that means is Elon will get access to everything about that lawsuit. He'll be in the meetings. He'll when there's discovery, he will be able to get that. What does Elon have? He's got X. It's a huge platform. He just announced something like 8 billion people use X in the last year. So that's a huge, huge platform. And what's he going to do with all the discovery that Gina Carano gets? He's going to start publishing it all on X. And there's nothing that Disney can do. It would be legally obtained. He's paid for the lawsuit, which means once he gets the documents, hey, this is now part of the lawsuit, which means I own this portion of it, and he can then publish it. So what he's doing is this is an effort. He is going to hurt Disney in the public sphere. Now, normally Disney doesn't care about that because what are you going to do? Well, it's because he's going to drop the stock price by doing this. And people like Nelson Peltz and Ike Perlmutter, who are currently fighting with Disney, they're fighting with Iger of who can take board seats because they want Disney to be profitable. This will tank the stock price so much to where they can now jump on and buy more and more stock and get a bigger portion of the stock. And I wouldn't be surprised if Elon starts buying large shares of the stock as well, and he himself becomes one of the majority share owners. And what that means is that Bob Iger is just going to be thrown right out. This will damage Disney, but they're going to Oh.
Okay, we're going back here to the microphone. This one lost battery power, so let me switch that. I'm not going to be able to stay on stream much longer though. I'm glad I was able to cover a lot of this stuff. I covered everything I wanted to. Conspiracy Kitty did a bad thing. No, it was just the battery. The battery died. But yeah. So this is my Elon Musk conspiracy that this is going to be so that him and these Ike Perlmutter and Nelson Peltz will take over Disney, tear it down, and rebuild it anew, back in Walt's vision, and make it, bring it back to greatness. But yeah, Disney should not have made these feuds. Like, feuds are bad for business. For years, Disney artists on several CD covers have sexual things in their drawings. Yeah, there's been that. A lot of those are people who are just mad at Disney. I've seen that a couple times. People get mad at Disney, so they do stuff like that. I don't think... Conspiracy Kitty thinks that there's a big conspiracy. I think it's just disgruntled artists. People who don't get enough pay or get very, very mad. Yeah, for corporations like Disney, they don't want this kind of press. So Disney created this problem. That was bad for business. Why would you do crap that's bad for business? You're a business. You should be doing things good for business. The way in which DeSantis revoked his privileges and self-government gave it cover. No, it really didn't. The narrative revolved around the retaliatory measures taken in response to opposition. Yeah, but they lost. They lost, okay? Like, the court could see through all this BS. They lost. This is why shills like the Hollywood Reporter, that's where I'm reading this, like, they've been like fighting for Disney, and it's like, dude, you guys are just embarrassing yourselves. Like, you just lost both lawsuits. You look like idiots. So let me transition back to just me. So that's my whole take on that. I should be ending this stream. Everyone, if you're in here, please, thank you for being here. Hit the like button. Make sure you share this out to people. I do appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I've covered all the big things that I wanted to. Please leave some comments and let me know what I should be talking about. I might come back on the stream. It's supposed to rain here today, so I might come back on later on today and talk about some other stuff. I'll prepare some stuff, maybe go through some news stories. But I'm pretty happy with the letter. So I will sign and date this letter and add, just make that one more change, and then that will go out. You'll see. I'll probably video me either take a picture or video me putting it in the thing, but that will go to Governor DeSantis' office. Hopefully we get a response back in a soon time frame, and make sure that you all are sharing that petition. We have 4,700 signatures already. Let's try to get some more. If we can get 300 more, I'll be really happy. I will be ecstatic. Thank you so much. I'm glad this letter, you guys all like this letter, and thank you for everyone who gave me comments on it, because I think you all helped it make it be a great letter. We took it from a good letter to a great letter, and that's what's important. Yeah, everyone have a happy Easter this weekend. If you are not if you're not a Christian and you're Muslim, happy Ramadan. Happy Passover to our Jewish friends. And if you're something else, if it's not your season, just have a great day. But everyone, thank you so much. Again, go to veterannationfoundation.com, buy some of our t-shirts. We are a 501c3 that helps us be able to help other veterans. And, we've got some funny stuff there. Let me know what other merch I should put up. I actually am going to buy a coffee mug this week myself, because I need some new coffee mugs. But as always, thank you for being worth serving.